Hello and welcome to my watch reviews. If you're new here, my name is Mike. I'm an amateur watchmaker, make watchmaking videos on a different channel. But when I'm not doing that, I'm over here reviewing watches. And we've got a new one on the bench today from Baltany. Now, I like Baltany very much. They feature a lot on this channel. They tend to make watches from yesteryear. Very good quality for the price that you have to pay because they tend to come in very cheap indeed. This one is £161 or 215 US dollars, and I think we all know what brand this is trying to get its design cues from. So much so that I'm going to bring one in here. This, let's just zoom in. On the left is my Rolex Oyster Date Precision, which is from sort of 1959-1960. This is the Baltany from 2025, and they do bear a lot of similarities. This, however, is 34mm in diameter. This one is 36. Believe it or not, this actually wears very, very well, and you wouldn't think it's a 34 if I told you that. Without telling you that, sorry, if it was on my wrist. There will be a review coming of this very soon. So yes, you can see where this is getting its nod from. Possibly not the Oyster Date, but the models that followed on afterwards. So we're going to take a good look at this. I'm going to take it outside in the daylight, show you the dial and everything else, and then we'll stick it on the microscope and have a good look around it close up. So just for transparency, Baltany have sent me this watch. I don't have to send it back. However, you will get an honest review from me because I can only really be honest. So looking at this particular dial, so we have the grey version. There are many other colours available, including some two-tone. So there's some gold and stainless steel varieties. Go and take a look at their website. There's a link down below, and you will see all the different colours they've got. Of course, they've sent us this grey one. So it's like a sunburst grey, very classic, very in keeping with the model it's trying to be. That begins with D and then J. I think you might know the one. You have the typical baton indices. Now, if I bring my earlier model in, you can see the differences are that at 6 and 9 we have like double thick baton indices. But back to the Baltany, it's very classic. Up at 12 there you have the Baltany logo, and I'm a little bit divided on this one. Not sure if I like it or not. I mean, I do like a logo, but perhaps you could just do away with the Baltany entirely and just put the logo there and then have an indice at 12. I'm not sure. Again, when we bring in the original, that's exactly what they've done. So we are emulating that almost like for like, aren't we? There is some loom on the dial, just some little tiny loom pits. I'll put a shot of the loom up now. It isn't anything to write home about, but this watch is not designed for that. So there's no point in doing any decent loom degradation tests. The one thing on this watch, and I'm going to see if I can hold up to the camera now. It's very hard to focus, but we have Baltany running all the way around the chapter ring, or the Rehort should we say, inside the watch. And I'm doing this in my hands now. Maybe in my outdoor shots might be better, so I'm doing this sort of live. It's a nice touch. I do feel it's a tad unnecessary. I like the full reflection on a Rehort because it sort of just draws you in a little bit more. It is very subtle. When it's on the wrist I can't actually see it, but I've got to notice it because that's the first time I've seen this on a Baltany. You tell me, or you tell Baltany, what you think in the comments below. Is that a good move, or should that be left out in future models? Now, one thing that's a little bit of a gripe on this one is the Cyclops. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Cyclops itself. It magnifies how it's supposed to. But indoors and outdoor, when you get a light reflecting through it, and I'm trying to demonstrate that now on my bench, and I'll also put some outside shots up, you get a blue tinge, and that blue tinge of course is the AR reflection or anti-reflection they put onto the whole of the crystal, and it's amplified through this Cyclops. And I don't know, I keep seeing it all the time and it irritates me a little bit because I don't know, my eyesight isn't as good as other people's, and it does hinder sometimes the viewing of that date. Just worth pointing out, I'm not going to be over critical. Taking a look at the case finishing, so the case is finished in the typical style of this particular watch. You have this sloped brushing on the lugs, high polished sides that are very sort of smooth, fit to the wrist very well, and then you get the contrasting straight brushing on the bracelet. H-link, not H-links are they? But you know the bracelets I'm on about. I'm not allowed to say it for legal reasons. We also have high polish on the sides, which is just exactly the same as the originals would be, and full of fingerprints, as I'm showing you on my desk. Articulates very well. I've removed 3 links from this watch. It is absolutely huge. I've got 7-inch wrists. So actually saying that, let me just show you what it does look like on my wrist. Here it is on my wrist. I'm a left-hander, so wear it on my right. I know that might trigger a few of you, but you get the gist of how it looks. I have got a 7-inch wrist, and this is 36mm in diameter. It fits very well, and it's very comfortable, and the bracelet doesn't pinch any of my hairs, which is really important. And here we can see that it is a flat sapphire crystal. We've talked about the AR coating already. We've got the sign B logo on the crown there. Crown is of a good size. It works very well. I can unscrew it nice and easy, and I can screw it back up nice and easy. Never cross threads, always seems to grip perfectly. I've had models before where they've been a little bit out, and sometimes you feel like you're cross-threading them, but on this one it's very good. I would also recommend potentially putting some silicone grease in there if you can. Other gripe though is the caseback. I've always got a gripe with the caseback because it's clinically finished, it's very nice, but it is just plain real estate with nothing on there at all, and it wouldn't have been nice if we started writing something on there. You can see that it's got you need a special tool basically to take this case back off, but you can use a sticky ball if you try. That will get it off with minimum force really. To reveal inside the NH35 movement. Okay, sizing it up. I know I'm using metal on metal, so that will gripe some of you for sure. 36mm in diameter. Case thickness, excluding the Cyclops, is 11.5. Lug width is 20mm. The lug to lug, including the bracelet, why not? It's probably more accurate that way, is say 43mm, and the bracelet will taper down to, should be 16 I would think. Yes, 16. There we go. Actually, let's just quickly size that crown. The original is 5.3. This is, I'll call it 6mm. Contrary to what I was saying about the caseback, you wouldn't want to give the guy who fitted this one an arm wrestle, because bloody hell, it was on proper tight. Anyway, it is now off. It's a good job I've got the right tool. This is an NH35 Seiko movement, featured in this channel on nearly every other video. Very good, very reliable movement. You'll have no trouble with these generally, and if they go wrong, people can fix them, or you can buy them fairly cheap, which is just ridiculous for how good they actually are. Let's have a quick look at the balance. So here's your balance wheel. This is responsible for the tick and the tock, basically the timing of the whole mechanism. Never touch this spring called the hairspring because you'll ruin it. What I like to just look at here is to make sure that this little clip or spring that holds the shock jewel in place is okay. Shock jewels are there just as the name suggests. If you drop the watch, it has a shock. This will flex slightly and save the pivots from breaking and the watch from stopping. Here is the dial on the microscope, and getting too much light reflection, to be honest with you, to get a real sharp image. And it's just because of that grey burst dial. You can see how it's bursting there. Look, I mean, I like the way dials do this. They don't dazzle you back. It just reflects it in a spirally manner like that. Dial itself is very healthy. I can't really see anything too obvious here. No surround on the date window. Indices all look good. The loom blobs look fine to me. Hands are, they're just okay, aren't they? Nicely polished. That B as well is nicely polished up there. Let's just get a little bit closer. So when we look at the print there, that's okay. There seems to be, let's find something to point with, the tiniest of scuffs on the dial here for some reason. Every time I've tried to blow that away or put a bit of Rodico on it, it stays, so it must be a little mark on the dial. Not ideal, but there we go. There's that B. And again, we just look at the markers, looking just to see if anything's out of alignment, smudged, marked, scratched, whatever it might be. But it's all looking pretty good, isn't it? Is the printing. Hands are okay. Nothing wrong with that. Very reflective, of course, which is what's making it look a bit off. Tell me what you think of this B logo. Like I say, I'm a fan of Baltany, and I guess it probably has a place on a watch like this, which is a bit more dressy, but if they made some sort of sportier watches, I don't think that logo would work as well. Again though, tell me what you think in the comments. And here's the NH35 on the Timegrapher. I've had all different results with these over the years. This movement's used in just about everything. This particular one in this watch, running very well. Amplitude is superb. Rate 6 seconds. Beat error could be a little bit better than 0.2, but I'll let it off. It's well within the specified tolerances from Seiko, which are as wide as a front door of a house. Let's just put it in a couple of different positions. So crown down. As always, we're just going to be trying to look to make sure that the path is going to continue on in the same kind of manner. Gravity does have a slight effect here, and there's some speckling going on, and that's just really from my talking and sort of vibrations from the bracelet and things like that. So we should be holding this in position a lot longer than we are in the video, but you get the drift. So we now have a little straighter line here at crown up, so it's actually making it slightly more accurate. That's interesting to see, but there's no real positional variance. If you see wide positional variance at this point on a brand new watch, you run for the hills and you send it back, because clearly it's probably taken a knock somewhere and something's not quite right. Okay, before I finish up the review, just wanted to show you something here. On the right we have the Baltany two-tone with the fluted bezel, which I reviewed early in this year. And on this one, just look at the Cyclops, and my gripe, can you see the reflection of my overhead light? And it's slightly blued, isn't it? And on this watch, it's not blued at all. Now, as far as I can tell, they're the same crystal, same size. The Cyclops is the same. They seem to be magnifying exactly the same. So what the heck is going on there, I wonder? Very unusual indeed. We've got another Baltany here that I reviewed. Just put that up side by side. It's interesting because this has got a wider bezel, but it's the same, exactly the same case, same crowns, and same bracelets and clasps actually. But look, you know, if you like the look of this watch or any of the other colours they've got, you can't go too far wrong with one from Baltany. You know, they're reliable, they're good, well-made things, nicely finished actually for the price that you're looking at. Now there are duties and tariffs depending on what country you're coming from. Baltany do now have an Amazon shop. There is a link down below. Now I'm not sure whether that negates any of those tax obligations, but perhaps if Amazon are shipping them direct from the country you're in, you shouldn't have so much of an issue. So if you're interested, obviously go and click that and you'll find out, won't you? While you're down there, leave a comment, because I will read them all, try to reply to as many as I can, and hopefully Baltany might be reading some too. You can have a go at them if you don't like the Rehort in there, or you don't like the blued thing, or perhaps you don't like the Caseback like I don't. Let them know, let me know, and that's what makes it all go round, isn't it? So look, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and if you want to see any of these two videos, then those links are on the screen now, so go and click on one of those and you can see this being reviewed, or perhaps this Baltany here being reviewed. I'll catch you in the next video, possibly my Rolex. Bye for now.